best and worst as we kick this off. I do want to remind everyone that training camp coverage on the CHGO Bears podcast is presented by Ray Chevrolet. Shop the Freedom to Save sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. Best. Gonna be hard to point at anything on offense today. Another one of those days. However, there is a certain guy, a large guy, who keeps getting in the backfield relatively consistently and continues to impress. I love seeing this because we talked a lot about him early on, even before the pads went on. It felt like we were talking about him too much before pads actually went on. But to me, this has been a consistent thing as we now are in our third week of camp. I believe today was like officially day 20 of camp, and it was practice 15. So we are deep into this thing. And to see number 99, Gervon Dexter Sr., continue to get back there in the backfield and disrupt things and knock down passes, I think this is a really, really good sign for this defense as Matt Eberflus tries to find his three technique. So I again, today, Gervon Dexter was my best. My worst, I figured I was going to kind of let you guys talk about the offense. I figure it's going to come up, so I'll stay in my lane with the special teams. This is the second or third time we've seen Cairo Santos miss at least 2 field goals in a row. There was another time like a week ago or something where he missed 3 in a row. Today he missed back-to-back field goals. Now he did come back and drain one right down the middle a little bit later on, and these aren't chip shots we're talking about here. So I am not worried about Cairo Santos. I want to make that very, very clear. But for a guy who has raised the bar way up here to the point that we're not even used to see him like ever missing in practice, it's just a little different. It's a little slightly uneasy that it's been a thing that's happened now a few times. I'm sure he'll figure it out. To his credit, he's had a couple times in his Bears tenure where he's gone through a game or two, like a tiny slump, and he's corrected it and been automatic after that. So again, that's a sign to me. It's not really something to worry about, but I do think we're at the point where on August 8th, it's at least worth bringing up in one of these episodes.
Yeah, because we just don't see it, right? We don't usually see Cairo Santos not put the ball through the upright. So I think it is noteworthy, and, you know, it makes sense to have it as your worst for today's show. Mark, did you want to go?
No, I'd love you jumping right in here, Nick. I was just going to add on to I actually am worried about Cairo. He's 32 years old, and he's not a big dude, and it's not like his kicks have ever really boomed through. So there's been he's been amazing, phenomenally accurate, but I think there's a sort of a lesser margin for error with Cairo because of his size and the way he kicks. So it is, I've been thinking it. I haven't been saying it because I didn't want to step into Hoge's special teams room and also freak out about the kicker on August 8th. But that thought has been going through my mind a bunch here. Like, are we sure that this is solid? Because, you know, he's been great, but it's looked a little off so far during I would say the entire training camp.
Yeah, and one real quick nugget before Nick, you go. It is worth pointing out that Patrick Scales has been out this week, and when you do have a different long snapper, the timing and everything is different. However, I will say I haven't necessarily been noticing it being a problem with the new guy, which I don't know for Cameron. Oh, it's Cameron Lyons. Thank you. Cameron Lyons. Should have had that ready. He's a rookie. He's out of Charlotte. I even know where he goes to school. Cameron Lyons. I haven't really necessarily noticed a huge issue with the snaps. And I will point out that other time I mentioned where he missed 3 in a row, Scales was out there for that too. So I don't think this is necessarily a long snapper issue. But yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so for my best, and I wanted to give this to you a chance to you go first, Mark, but I'm going to go with Tyson Bagent. There was a 2-play sequence there, Mark, where Tyson floated a pass over a defender in the flat, and this ball needed to be perfectly placed or he's going to get picked off. But Tyler Scott was able to run this out route, and this ball was just beautifully placed. I'm like, damn, Bagent, that's a nice throw. And I think he did the arrow right after it. But then on the very next play, too, he draws Khalid Kareem off sides and is able to take advantage of that play by hitting Nasemba Webster on a deep vertical route down the right sideline. And like, that's a really good 2-play sequence from your guy, Tyson Bagent. So I was really impressed with that. I think that was honestly the two best plays the offense had all day. But go ahead real quick, Carm.
No, those were great. And I'll throw another back-to-back sequence that he had today. He drew guys offsides again, and he fired they call it a 25-yard roughly out up high for Freddie Swain, who Bagent has targeted a ton. They seem to be on the same wavelength. That was a great play. And then on the next play, he hit Swain again. So Bagent had a decent day today for sure.
Yeah, a lot of love for Bagent. My worst, though, you guys, like obviously Caleb, he threw an interception to supposedly Kevin Byard. We'll get into that. But there was actually a play before that. It was a miss to Keenan Allen on a seam route in the middle of the field. Like this was a play that, Keenan did a good job of getting open. He made himself available to Caleb Williams, and the ball just kind of sailed for whatever reason. We've seen some of those passes come off of Caleb's hand like that, where they'll just sail a little bit high, but that's a ball where, I know he can make that pass. We've all seen him make that pass, but for whatever reason, it just didn't time up well on that specific rep, and he missed it. And I put it out like it was a bad miss for Caleb. So that's going to be my worst from today, especially because Keenan did a great job getting open. We've seen Caleb hit that pass, but it just didn't happen in that rep.
Multiple bests for me, starting at the top, which is the way we started the show, that Caleb will play on Saturday. Thank you. Whatever 1%, 2% of doubt that with the offensive line situation that he wasn't going to play was, minorly keeping me up at night for an extra 7 minutes. I'm glad that that's done. Get him out there. Let's go. And I'm actually going to make Caleb my best today, even though he had a off day, I think, overall. I am completely on board with, and I talked about this a long time ago, let him throw a ton of touchdown passes, let him throw a ton of interceptions. I know that the playoffs, the last time we were in it seems like it was the Stone Ages, and it'd be sweet if they make it this year. But the biggest thing that you want out of this season is Caleb to grow and get better and get closer to his peak. And he's got to be able to make mistakes. And one of the interceptions today, he moved around in the pocket, ran up to the line of scrimmage, could have run, easily picked up 10 yards, would have done nothing for his growth whatsoever. Instead, he went parallel the line of scrimmage, flushing to his right, and then he fires it, and then it's intercepted. It doesn't look great, but I was like, that's exactly what you should be doing. I don't care if you pick up 6 yards on the ground in training camp. That's ridiculous. And then he got picked off late by Kevin Byard. The entire media room, including Nicholas Moreano, thought it was Jalen Jones. I, of course, was right. Everybody else was wrong. Thank you very much. But I love this. That was a tough throw. Big out deep down the right sidelines, and Byard made a good play on it. Let him learn what he can and he can't do. So the fact that he's pushing the envelope, I'm still going to make that a best for today.
We all silly like the mayor.